Alright, this is the very first video of the very first chapter of Workplace Math 10. And in this chapter we're looking at different kinds of puzzles and games that are math related. So the first one we have here is called a magic square. And a magic square is a 3x3 grid, which means it has 3 squares across and 3 squares up and down. And there's a magic number that everything has to add to, is 15 in this case. Now when I say it has to add to 15, what I'm talking about is each row has to add to 15, each column must add to 15, and each diagonal must add to 15. So in this one, I'm going to start off with this square right here. So I start off with 15, my magic number, and I'm going to take away 9 and take away 4. And that's going to leave me with 2. And I can do the same thing right here. Start with my magic number and take away 2 and take away 7. And this will give me 6. So what I'm doing here is I'm figuring out the number that adds to 15. 2 plus 7 plus 6 equals 15. The other way, if you don't want to use a calculator or don't have to use a calculator, is you can use your head. So right here in this row, I have 6 plus 1 is 7, and 7 plus something is 15. So that will be 8. And I can continue here. 4 plus 8 is 12. And I know that 3 plus 12 is 15. And finally, there's a number of different ways I can solve this last one, but I'm just going to go 9 plus 1 is 10, and 10 plus 5 is 15. So what I would like you to do now is pause the video and write down these rules on your page of notes. They are the rules for magic square. All numbers in each row add up to the magic number. All numbers in each column add up to the magic number. And what I didn't emphasize in the last question was that all numbers in each diagonal add up to the magic number. So let's look at this one here. In this one, the magic number is 33. So I'm going to start off with this one, this square right here. If I wanted to, I could start off with this square or this square. But what you'll notice is that I can't actually start off with just any square. For example, if I wanted to start off with this square, I would not be able to, because there's another blank square in this row and other blank squares in this column. And so I need to find a blank square that's the only one in a row or column. So I'm going to start off with this one. If I start off with my magic number of 33, and I take away 13, and I take away 15, I'm left with 5. And similarly, I can figure out this one. 33 minus 11 minus 19, and I get 3. If you feel most comfortable with your calculator, just use your calculator. I'm going to go find this one. And that's 17. And what I would like you to do now is pause the video, and I would like you to figure out the last two squares on your own. Alright, so for this one, if you got 7, because 15 plus 11 plus 7 is 33, that is correct. And if you got 9 for this one, because 5 plus 19 plus 9 is 33. Alright, so this one is your turn. So what I would like you to do now is pause the video, and I would like you to solve this magic square by yourself. The magic number is 45, and if you'd like a hint, you could start off with this square using these two numbers, the 9 and the 12. Okay, so go ahead and do that. Alright, so if you start off with this square, 9 plus 12 is 21, and 21 plus 24 is 45. And moving right along here, if you got 3, you were correct, and 18, 21, and 6. If any of your numbers were not correct, pause the video and take another look and do your calculations again. If they're still not correct and you're not sure why, then just go back in the video a bit and rewatch the first part of the lesson. Okay, we're just going to move right along to this next question. And what I want you to think about for this question is what is different. Because that's always important in math, is what is missing or what is different. So in this one, you may have realized that it's a much bigger grid. It's actually 4 squares across and 4 squares down. And my magic number is 34. So for this one, there aren't actually a lot of different ways that we can start. However, what I'm looking for is a row, a column, or a diagonal that is only missing one square. So I could actually start off with this one, or I could start off with this one, or this one. So I am going to start off with this one right here. I'll start out with my magic number, 34, and take away 13, take away 3, and take away 16. And I'm left with 2. I will do the same to this one. 34, take away 16, take away 5, and take away 4. And that's 9. So what I would like you to do right now is figure out this square. Go ahead and pause the video and work out your calculations. Alright, so if you got 14 for this one, you are correct. And you'll notice that because I filled in this square, I only have one square left to fill out for this row. So 34 minus 2 minus 7 minus 14, and I'm left with 11. Now, at this point, what's difficult to see is that there's not actually any row that I can solve, because these rows have 2 missing squares. And the columns are also missing 2. So I'm stuck. But here is how we can get unstuck. Is the last rule for magic squares is that all numbers in each diagonal add up to the magic number. So in this one, what we can do is we can look at this diagonal right here. So I'll take out my calculator. 34 minus 16 minus 11 and minus 1 is 6. Now I can figure out the rest. So what I'd like you to do now is pause the video and figure out the last 3 numbers. Alright, so if you got 12 right there, and you got 8 right there, and then right here you got 10, you are correct. Alright, so now what I would like you to do is complete the chapter 1.1 homework that's found on my RCOA. There will be 10 questions on magic numbers and squares, just like this video. And a little piece of special information for you. On the chapter quiz, there will be 2 questions on it that will be very similar to the homework questions.